Hamza Igerman's future at Rangers is looking more uncertain by the day, and we might be standing at the edge of a turning point in the club's summer transfer activity. The 22-year-old Moroccan striker, who lit up Ibrox with a string of exciting performances during his breakthrough campaign, is now attracting heavy interest from all over Europe. His pace, his movement, his finishing, everything about him screams potential, and clubs are lining up to try and snap him up. Yet while Russell Martin is still planning with Igerman very much in mind, the situation behind the scenes is anything but simple. Things are shifting quickly, and a new development this week could force Rangers into making a big call sooner than expected. The reality is the transfer window waits for no one. Every day that ticks by adds more pressure on the board, the coaching staff, and the players. Igerman is a hot commodity, and the longer Rangers hold on without either tying him down with a new deal or accepting a bid, the more complicated things can get. From what we're hearing, Feyenoord have now entered the picture. And not just with interest, they're apparently preparing a serious offer that could test the club's resolve. Word is the Dutch side are willing to break their transfer record to land the striker. That's not something you hear every day, and it's a massive statement. If true, it means Rangers are going to be faced with a decision that could shape not only this season, but the club's direction for years to come. And let's not forget, Igerman didn't cost a fortune when he arrived. Rangers brought him in last year for what now looks like a bargain fee from ISR. To get an offer in the region of £10 million less than a year later would represent a huge return. It's the kind of deal that fits perfectly into the player trading model the club has been so keen to follow in recent seasons. You identify talent, you give them a platform, and when the time is right, you move them on for a profit and reinvest. That's the model, and right now Igerman looks like a textbook case. Former striker Chris Boyd hasn't been shy about giving his view on the matter either. He made it clear, when you've done the job of developing a player and someone is willing to pay big, sometimes you just have to take the money and trust your recruitment team to find the next gem. Boyd was pretty blunt in his assessment, suggesting that holding on to Igerman could backfire. He warned about unrest in the dressing room, about players losing motivation if they feel their big opportunity is being blocked. That's a reality, and modern football players have more power than ever before. If a top club from the Netherlands or France or Germany comes calling and the player wants to go, it becomes very hard to keep him focused if the club refuses to let him leave. And with Champions League qualifiers coming up, the last thing Russell Martin needs is a distraction like that hovering over the squad. What complicates this even more is the situation with other players in the squad. Reports suggest that striker Cyril Dessers is also being tracked with Greek giants AEK Athens monitoring his situation. If both Dessers and Igerman were to leave in the same window, that would leave a massive hole in the attacking options available to Martin. It would also heap even more pressure on Kevin Thelwell, the sporting director, who would need to work overtime to bring in adequate replacements. That's the gamble Rangers are facing. Take the money now, try to reinvest smartly, or hold on to your best assets and risk losing them for less or for nothing further down the line. Meanwhile, the club is also dealing with other transfer drama. Robin Proper, the experienced defender, is reportedly stalling on a return to the Netherlands with FC Twente. Rangers accepted a bid from the Dutch club, who are hoping to bring back their former captain. But there's a catch. Proper would have to accept a significant wage cut to make the move happen. That's proving to be a stumbling block. It's understood that he's open to the idea, but wants Rangers to compensate for the difference in salary. It's a sticky situation, especially now that Twente's technical director Jan Stroyer has made it clear they won't wait forever. He's even gone as far as hinting that Proper's game time at Ibrox this season could influence his final decision. Basically, if Proper gets minutes under Russell Martin in the next few friendlies or early season matches, he might decide to stay and fight for his place. If not, then maybe the deal goes through, but only if the financials get sorted out. You can see how this all adds to the tension behind the scenes. There's movement happening on multiple fronts. Players are being scouted, bids are being considered. The squad is still not fully settled. And all of this is taking place with the Champions League qualifiers looming large. These are crucial weeks for the club. Every decision made now has knock-on effects for the rest of the campaign. The idea that Rangers might lose both Proper and Igerman in the same window, and possibly Dessers, would have seemed unthinkable a few months ago. But football changes fast. And if the money's right and the deals are structured properly, sometimes you've just got to be bold and move forward. And while the fans will understandably want the best players to stay, there's a growing understanding that the club needs to operate smartly in the market. Rangers don't have the luxury of just saying no to big offers. without thinking about the consequences, not in this financial climate. Every big sale gives the club room to maneuver to rebuild, to plan for the future. That's what the player trading model is all about, but it also requires precision. You have to replace quality with quality. You can't afford to get it wrong because the margin for error is small. One player who can help ease the transition, at least in attacking areas, is J.D. Gassama. At just 21 years of age, he's being tipped by many as a future star. Former England winger Chris Waddle had high praise for the young wide man after watching him closely in the English Championship. According to Waddle, Gassama not only has raw talent, but also a relentless work ethic, something that often separates good players from great ones. He's got that engine, that hunger, that willingness to run track, back, and press. And if Rangers can help him add consistency to his game, they might have pulled off one of the bargains of the summer. Gassama was signed for a modest fee, just over £2 million, and already there's talk that he could fetch much more down the line. If he continues to develop, that's exactly the type of signing Rangers need right now. Low cost, high potential. If Igerman goes and the club can lean on someone like Gassama to step up, it can help soften the blow. But of course, no one player is going to be a direct replacement. Igerman's movement, his link-up play, his understanding of the system, it's all going to be hard to replicate. That's why the recruitment department has to be laser-focused in the coming weeks. Whether they're looking to the English lower leagues, the European market, or even South America, they need to identify targets who can come in and contribute straight away. Meanwhile, former interim manager Barry Ferguson has finally broken his silence. Since leaving the club at the end of last season, he had taken over for a brief 3-month spell and had quietly hoped to be considered for the permanent job, but with the arrival of new American ownership, the decision was made to go with a fresh face, Russell Martin. Ferguson, ever the professional, took the news on the chin and spoke with a lot of class in his recent interview. He described the experience as brilliant and talked about how quickly he had to assemble a staff that would challenge him. There were some tough games during his tenure, including home defeats to Motherwell and Hibernian, but also moments of tactical adjustment that led to wins. Ferguson made it clear he holds no bitterness. In fact, he said he's enjoying a bit of peace and quiet now, but he wouldn't rule out returning to management in the future. He's already had a few offers from clubs in Scotland, England, and even abroad, but none of them felt like the right fit just yet. For now, he's content to bide his time and wait for the right opportunity. All of this paints a picture of a club in the middle of transformation. New ideas, new direction, and some tough choices to make. Whether it's deciding the fate of a star striker, managing expectations in the dressing room, or finding the next big thing before someone else does, the pressure is on. And with the new season just around the corner, Rangers don't have much time left to get everything in order. So as Rangers continue navigating this hectic transfer window, the broader picture becomes clearer. This is not just about selling one or two players. It is about setting a tone, establishing a foundation under a new manager, and proving that the club can still compete while embracing a sustainable strategy. Russell Martin has walked into a job where expectations remain sky high. Fans do not want excuses. They want trophies, performances, and perhaps above all, progress. And yet the job in front of Martin is as complex as it gets. He is managing egos, contract situations, external pressure from agents and media, and the relentless grind of summer recruitment. All of this while preparing for vital Champions League qualifiers that could define the first stretch of the season. Let us not forget the financial stakes involved. Qualifying for the Champions League group stage brings a windfall of millions money that can be reinvested in the squad, used to support infrastructure, or even stabilize certain areas behind the scenes. But to get there, Rangers must navigate tough fixtures against seasoned European opponents. That means the squad needs to be not just talented, but mentally and physically ready for battle. Distractions around Igerman's future, the proper situation, and possible moves involving Dessus are not helpful. They take attention away from tactical preparations, from fitness work, from building cohesion among new signings and old faces alike. The truth is, Russell Martin's hands might be tied in some ways. He may want to build the squad in a certain image, but if key players are sold or uncertain about their future, it disrupts everything. That is why clarity is so important over the next week or two. Rangers need to decide what kind of club they are going to be this season. Are they sellers? Are they trying to win the league? Are they trying to do both? These are not easy questions, but they are questions that must be answered on the pitch. And in the boardroom, there is also the matter of dressing room dynamics. Whenever a player like Igerman becomes the center of transfer speculation, it creates a ripple effect. Teammates see it, Some feel inspired, others feel insecure about their own positions. And if players believe the club is more interested in making profit than chasing silverware, it can affect morale. That is not to say Rangers are doing anything wrong. In fact, the model of buy low, develop, and sell high is working well for clubs across Europe. But it is a delicate balance. Lose too many key players too quickly and the dressing room feels gutted. Keep them too long and you risk losing them for free or dealing with an unhappy star. It is a tightrope walk, and right now the club is halfway across. Speaking of the dressing room, there is renewed chatter about how Martin is managing personalities. Those close to the squad say he is trying to build a strong internal culture with accountability and competition at the heart of it. That is one reason why the Proper situation has become so sensitive. Proper is not just a squad player, he is a veteran voice, someone younger players look up to. If he stays but barely plays, it might create awkwardness. If he goes and the club does not replace his experience, it leaves a gap. Again, this is where the recruitment department must be sharp. They cannot afford to misread the squad's emotional landscape. Football is not just about tactics and fitness, it is about people, relationships, leadership. And while Rangers are busy dealing with exits and contract talks, they are also scanning the market for the next big rival. Rumors continue to swirl about a number of targets, especially in midfield and attack. Names have been mentioned from Scandinavia, from League One, even from the MLS. What is clear is that Rangers are casting a wide net. They are trying to find value in places that may have been overlooked before. That is smart business in theory, but it only works if you get your scouting right. Bringing in talent from lesser-known leagues is risky. The adaptation period, the physicality of Scottish football, the unique pressure of playing for a club like Rangers, these are things not every player can handle. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you do not have the mentality, the Ibrox crowd will let you know. That is why someone like J.D. Gassama stands out. He has shown glimpses of being able to handle both the footballing and emotional demands of life at Rangers. He works, he tracks back, he plays for the badge. And even though he is young, he understands what it means to play at a high-pressure club. That kind of mindset is gold. If Rangers can find 2 or 3 more players with that attitude combined with quality, then the departures of Igerman or Dessus, while painful, could be softened. It all comes back to how smart and efficient the club can be in the market over the next few weeks. Meanwhile, fans are watching all of this unfold with a mix of excitement and anxiety. On one hand, it is encouraging to see Rangers linked with big moves, to see Feyenoord reportedly preparing a record-breaking bid to see Ibrox as a stage for some of Europe's most talked about young players. On the other hand, supporters worry about stability, about the spine of the team being weakened just as the season starts. And let us be honest, some fans do not care about trading models or balance sheets. They care about winning matches, especially against Celtic. They care about lifting trophies and making noise in Europe. For them, losing a fan-favorite striker for any amount of money hurts, unless the replacement is just as good or better. This puts the club in a position where every decision becomes amplified. Sell a star and you need to get everything else right. The replacements, the timing, the communication with fans. Even a delay in announcing a signing or a failed medical can trigger outrage if people feel like the club is not being proactive. It is a high-pressure job at every level of the organization right now, from the analysts to the recruitment officers to the manager himself. That is why the next few matches and weeks of training will be so revealing. We will get a better sense of Martin's preferred lineup, who is on the fringes, who is stepping up, and how close this squad is to being ready for the campaign ahead. There is also something to be said about the influence of the new ownership. American investors bring a different style, more data, more commercial focus, more structure perhaps. But football remains emotional, and Rangers is not just any club. It is a club with a long history, intense rivalries, and a fan base that lives and breathes every detail. The boardroom decisions have to respect that. You can't just run Rangers like a company. You have to understand the heartbeat of the place. From everything being said, it seems like the ownership understands that. But again, talk only goes so far. Fans want to see that reflected in results, in how the team plays, and in the ambition shown during these crucial transfer windows. Back on the pitch, all eyes are now turning toward the upcoming European qualifier. These matches are not just about prestige or revenue, they are about belief. A good result gives everyone a lift, a bad one piles on the pressure. If Igerman plays and scores, it complicates things even more. Do you sell a player who is already delivering on the European stage, or do you hold him for one more run, hoping he drives you into the group stages before moving on? These are football dilemmas that every ambitious club faces. But for Rangers in this moment, every choice feels heavier because of what is at stake. Not just this season, but the trajectory of the whole project under Martin and the new regime. There is a quiet optimism among some fans that despite the chaos, this could end up being a transformative summer, that Martin will assert his authority, that the scouting team will unearth a few more gems, that young players will step up, that Gassama Lovelace Rice and others will take the next step, that the club will not just survive the loss of players like Igerman but evolve. Because that is the challenge now, not to resist change, but to embrace it in a way that makes the team stronger, smarter, more balanced. So here we are in the heart of summer, with deals hanging in the balance, players waiting by the phone, and fans refreshing their timelines for the latest updates. Rangers are not just managing a squad, they are managing a story, a vision, a dream. Whether that dream becomes reality depends on what happens next. The next offer, the next injury, the next moment of brilliance from a young star. It is all in play, the pressure is real, and the drama is just getting started. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team, it's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are growing louder around Ibrox as pressure mounts on Rangers manager Russell Martin, with sections of the support calling for his immediate departure, following yet another disappointing result. Though there's been no official word from the club, the mood among fans has taken a sharp turn, and the sense is that patience is wearing thin, if it hasn't run out already. Martin, brought in with hopes of injecting fresh ideas and a bold new approach, now finds himself at the heart of swirling speculation. What was once quiet grumbling has turned into open discontent across social media and fan forums, with some describing the current state of the team as directionless and uninspired. After a string of underwhelming performances and dropped points, many are beginning to wonder if the former Swansea boss has lost the dressing room, or worse, the faith of the terraces. While the board has yet to make any moves publicly, there's a growing belief that internal discussions might already be underway. Sources close to the club suggest senior figures are monitoring the situation closely, weighing options should results fail to improve in the immediate term. With the gap widening at the top of the Premiership table and European ambitions slipping further away, the timing could hardly be worse. It's not just about the results, it's the manner in which they're arriving. Fans are questioning tactical choices, substitutions, and what they see as a lack of urgency on the pitch. There's still a sliver of hope that Martin can turn things around, but the chorus calling for change is becoming harder to ignore. Whether the board will act or give the gaffer a bit more rope remains to be seen. For now, the rumor mill at Ibrox is spinning faster than ever, and Russell Martin's future hangs delicately in the balance. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.